first step to increase a muscle's ability to stretch is to release its points of tension. In this case, we're looking for trigger points in the muscle fascia of the adductors. You should be looking for spots along the midline of the inner thigh that trigger a painful response upon pressure. Normally on the adductors there are 3 of such spots, one close to the knee, one at mid-thigh and one close to the groin. One way of stimulating these points is through the use of a foam roller. In this case, you lie face down with your inner thigh on top of a roller. You should start by making small movements back and forth and side to side until you find a spot. Once you've found it, you should hold still for about a minute. Remember, the pain should decrease, not increase. Then you move on and search for other spots, mid-thigh and close to the groin. And the same thing you'll do for the other leg. As I mentioned earlier, if you don't have a foam roller, you can use a tennis ball. In this case, try to find an elevated surface like a low bench or a step. Same as before, you place your inner thigh on top of a ball and search for a painful spot by the knee, mid-thigh and groin. And the same thing on the other leg. The second stage is warming up the areas you're going to stretch. Wide squats or sumo squats in this case will work both as a dynamic stretch and to warm up the adductors and hip flexors. Start with your legs wide apart and your feet pointing out. Squat down as deep as you can while keeping your knees in line with your feet. Do one set of 20 repetitions. A great way to increase your flexibility is through PNF stretching. I'm not going too much into details right now, just you need to know the basic principle behind it. Our muscles contain a tiny neuroreceptor called muscle spindle that signals the brain with changes in length, which in turn will trigger the stretch reflex that will contract the muscle to avoid injury. Now, if you contract the muscle that is being stretched by applying an external resistance, this will, let's say, confuse the neuroreceptor and allow more stretch. Let's put this into practice. You will use the boxing wraps to loop around your feet as you lie down with your legs wide apart. Hold and relax for about 10 seconds, then pull down with the bands while at the same time resisting this pulling force by trying to get your feet together. The net result is that your feet won't move in either direction. Do this for 5 seconds. Then relax your muscles, don't resist the pull anymore, allowing the feet wide apart, and hold for about 15 seconds. Then repeat and do a total of 5 sets. Another way of doing it is with your legs against the wall. Works the same way, but this time try also to contract your glutes as you relax your legs and allow more stretch. This type of stretch consists of a dynamic phase followed by a static one to allow a greater range of motion. Begin by sitting down with your legs wide apart. Then you'll start pulsing your chest forward, trying to touch the ground with your hands. Remember, the pulsing motion should be small and controlled rather than big and jerky. Do 10 pulses, then hold the position for 30 seconds. Repeat the whole thing 3 times, trying to get your chest as close to the ground as you can. In the final step, you'll try to reach your point of maximum flexibility. Go slowly to the stretch, allowing the muscle and the tendons to adapt to the change in length. Once you reach your maximum range, hold the position for 30 seconds to 1 minute. You should only do 1 attempt per workout, and the whole stretch should last for at least 90 seconds.